Hey, what up? It's Pat the Flip. Thanks for checking out the video. If you want, give me some money on Patreon or Twitch so I can keep on making cool shit. Peace.
This song is so good. What up, everybody? What up, Round Man? We got Round Man holding it down. We got Swan. We got Shablump. So good to see y'all. So today we're going to get Aevee Bee back in here. Oh, I need to turn the banana light. I don't think anyone managed to hit the sound of Anime America quite as well as whoever did the composition on Captain America's theme. It's fucking awesome. Anyway, what up, everybody? It's Thursday night. We're here to play some motherfucking Marvel Capcom game. So I don't think we're going to make it to Marvel vs. Capcom today, but we did kind of want to build up to it. And all this starts with Aevee. So let's go ahead and give Aevee a call.
I started labbing Jacko yesterday.
Ooh, why?
You know, funny story.
Mm-hmm.
It was actually, you know that comment that you got with the guy that was like, you like gave your thoughts on Guilty Gear Strive. I watched the video. It's a good video, by the way. And the person was like, "This video got me to stop playing Street Fighter V," which I thought was really funny. But I actually had a similar effect in which I felt like I might need to drop Kai in Xrd.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you why. I had a lot of fun with this Strive beta.
Yeah.
I had like a really good time.
Good.
I really actually was finding how much I had improved.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't get into heaven. They didn't let me in.
Okay. How far did you make it in the tower?
Floor 7.
Okay.
So it wasn't terrible.
Mm-mm.
And I didn't play it for very long. And the thing that really struck me was that I did not have any trouble whatsoever.
Sure.
Like, I had like a couple of matches that like, whereas like this person, like actually I was like playing in a lobby with some friends and some like random, really high level RAM came up and showed me how I was actually supposed to play the character.
Mm-hmm.
And it was really fun. And I was like, dang, I do really like this. And I'm not sure what it is about if I'm like actually too much of a scrub to maybe like truly understand what's different between this, or like it's not like I can't tell the difference between Strive and Xrd.
Yeah.
But that secret, like that beautiful thing.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, because I'm playing a character that's essentially like not any different. He's
Sure.
like in Xrd.
Yeah.
Like Kai in Xrd is like very different than that character in any other game because Xrd is all around him.
Mm-hmm.
And he's even like, balanced to exist within the universe of Xrd.
Sure.
But it did give me the sense that the kind of like game that I was like the game that I'm like enjoying out of Kai is a game that I can find in a lot of different places.
Yeah.
And that maybe if I really want to like love Xrd, I need to pick up a character that shows me like the really like the stuff that people really love about like a really complicated fighting game.
Absolutely.
If that makes sense.
Yeah, that makes total sense. First off, before I get to that, I need to give Andres the shout out for hooking it up with the subs. Thank you so much, homie. Really appreciate it. As far as what you're saying, like this is actually why I make fun of people who pick Kai and Axel in Guilty Gear, right? And it's the analogy I usually use is that if you're playing Guilty Gear and you pick these characters, you've essentially picked vanilla ice cream. Right? You are here, but you're not necessarily here to play the thing that everyone is playing. You're probably here to be with everyone who's playing this thing, right? But it's a different choice, It is getting vanilla ice cream. There's nothing wrong with vanilla ice cream. Vanilla ice cream goes great with a lot of things. But if Guilty Gear is like the Ben and Jerry's of ice cream and you just got wild shit all over the place, you roll up to Ben and Jerry's and order vanilla ice cream, and that sends a very strong message, right? And then Axel is like if you order melted vanilla ice cream. So, that's even... So how is Jacko going for you? I do want to know more about your Strive session, but tell me more about Jacko.
With Jacko, it's like she's got a bunch of like very simple and easy to use tools that were like, as soon as like I just like played in the beginner session against a bunch of other people with my like day zero Jacko.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, I can like pick up all her tools. Like I know kind of what to do with her. They're like a little weird, but I played enough fighting games that I immediately know what they all are. And then you have like this bizarre win condition that you can just pull out. And I was actually kind of like, it was like, oh, this is really cool. I'm like actually making people play this game really differently because they really don't want those houses out there. Like even people who don't have a lot of Jacko matchup knowledge, like immediately know that like if you let her get those houses out, then it's really bad news. And it was actually like really cool to see like how differently I got to play the game because I was like, oh, you're paying attention to my houses, but you're not paying attention to me, or you're paying attention to me, but not the houses. And I was getting maybe a little bit of access to like the kind of like weird and dirty stuff that people get out of Guilty Gear without having to actually do some of the I guess I'm like it's not like necessarily that the execution was like the thing that was like, I don't want to ever do this sort of execution. It was like, Elfelt's execution was not like making a thing that felt to me like something I personally thought I was cool for doing.
Yeah, absolutely.
Sense.
And some of that is because Elfelt players are just objectively not cool. But some of that is because just winning is not cool to most people, right? Like, especially when they're playing fighting games, it's not just about whether you're winning or not. It's about how you're winning, right? It's about whether you connect to the fantasy that the character is presenting in whatever way. Yeah. Right? So for Kai, I think what you correctly figured out is that the satisfaction of playing Kai is the basic satisfaction of all fighting games. I pressed a button. It made certain boxes show up. The boxes that I put out were positioned and timed more effectively than the boxes you put out. I get to feel smart, right? And that's something that you get in Street Fighter. That's something you get in Sam Show. That's something you get in Guilty Gear. It's something you get in everything, right? And if that feels like something that you vibe with, then great. But if you don't, if you're kind of whatever on it, right? Like if it doesn't grab you in your heart, if you don't feel like, oh, I want to do this to people, then yeah, that's not the character for you, right? I don't play Chip because he's my most successful competitive character, or he's not optimal for me in terms of winning. I play Chip because I think ninjas are fucking tight. I grew up with Ninja Turtles and Power Rangers and fucking ninjas and G.I. Joe, ninjas everywhere. Three ninjas kick back. Like the world was just kind of obsessed. I won't say the world. Hollywood was obsessed with ninjas for a while.
It was a time for ninjas when we were kids. Yeah. For sure.
And ninjas are still cool and they're still all over the place, right? But like there was like my most impressionable years as a child were definitely peak ninja. Right.
Right, yeah.
So that's interesting. And then Jacko obviously like part of the appeal that she gives is that forces you to play a different game. Everyone in Guilty Gear forces you to play a different game, but Jacko's is very explicit, right? She's like, don't know if you've heard of MOBAs? They seem pretty cool with the kids. Let's try and put that motherfucking Guilty Gear and see how it goes, right? I would suspect that maybe part of the joy that you got from playing Jacko was not, it wasn't just, the simplified inputs, because she does have easier inputs and easier access to powerful stuff, right? Like, that probably made it easier to access her shit, but, like, I'm not surprised that you, as a game developer, get joy out of making someone else play a game that you want them to play.
Exactly. No, like, and it was like, because, like, the simplified Jacko stuff at this point is, like, well, it's whatever. Like, I could do, like, I was already doing that stuff with Kai. Like, it's, like, no problem.
Yeah. All right. Well, I look forward to hearing more about your continued exploration, and I'm sure we can dig deeper into Strive. But we told the people we were going to play a video game today, so a video game we shall play. Today, we're going to go ahead and play. We're going to start with X-Men Children of the Atom. I've got 3 games lined up, so we can kind of play through them pretty quickly. We got X-Men Children of the Atom, Marvel Superheroes, and then if we can get to it, we'll do X-Men versus Street Fighter. But let's start with X-Men CotA. All right. I ended up on Psylocke. If you pick automatic, it lets you block automatically.
Whoa.
All right, I will turn up the Fightcade audio just a little bit. This shit like explodes. All right.
Oh, let's go to the moon.
Oh.
Whoop.
All right, there we go. Okay. So right off the bat, vertical scrolling stage, looking like the Relento stage a little bit, right?
Oh yeah. That was a pretty good stage.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Also, we got much bigger dashes, and we got super jump height. Look at that!
Whoa!
Woo!
Whoa! Now that's some jump height there.
Yeah.
Holy crap! What the hell?
Big ass jump height with mobility, right? Like you can move yourself left and right. You have some DI. Oh, we also have an air throw.
Oh my god!
I laid out on the ground for like 10 whole seconds there. So this game uses mostly chain combos, a la Darkstalkers.
Yeah, when did this come out?
I think this came out. I think we checked it last time. It came out pretty close to Darkstalkers.
Oh my god!
But what's funny to me is like you can feel the movement while it's bigger. It's definitely slower paced.
Yeah. Right. It's like you're moving, but like you actually kind of can't get to each other very fast. And because the screen is so big, and because you can do these huge floaty jumps, you can kind of like really avoid each other. Yeah. Whoa! I can understand why they put it in, and then I can understand why they never did it again.
Well, I mean, this is true for the super jump height is in all the Marvel games.
Is it that high though?
Yes.
Holy crap!
It feels smaller because you have teams of 6. Just take a second to like figure out his buttons real quick. I want to see all his shit.
Oh whoa! So
yeah,
that's just the.
And that's like a medium punch.
Yeah, that's his medium punch. Yeah.
And I think those projectile attacks are jump cancelable too. Like in startup.
Oh, seriously?
Yeah, like press. I think it's standing medium punch and then just jump. Try jumping with 3 kicks. Yeah, see that? You jump canceled the standing medium.
Wait, why do the 3 kicks do anything?
So 3 punches will dash in a Marvel game, and 3 kicks will jump, or super jump rather.
Whoa, okay, I never knew that.
Yep.
Yeah, and they had macro dashes all the way back.
Exactly, and that's how you wave dash in these games. It's like that. You do 3 buttons to dash and then down to cancel, and then just do that over and over. And one of the things that definitely carried over from like their Darkstalkers work was just seeing like a lot of unique movement, right? So Sentinel actually has flight in this game. If you do core circle back and 2 punches, I think it is. So see that?
Oh yeah, it's 3.
Yeah.
Oh man, holy crap.
And he gets this in Marvel too, and it makes him really good. But in this game, he can actually take a hit and stay in flight mode. He can even block.
Oh my god. Yeah, I'm still in it.
Yeah.
I keep on getting hit, and yet I'm still in it. Wild.
Shout out to when Marvel went weeb, or I guess it's when Wolverine went weeb, really.
Wow, he was vibing.
I love the blade trails that he has in this. Like, it feels like they were trying to make it look more like a comic book, right?
Right, yeah, definitely. Like, you see that, like, it's really funny how both JoJo's Bizarre Adventure and American comics, like, get adapted in really comic booky ways. Mm-hmm. And it's funny that, like, JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, I think, is, like, the only, like, manga that gets that sort of treatment. But it's very consistent.
I mean, yeah, because the aesthetic is just, it's an integral part of how people think of it, right? It's the same thing, like Dragon Ball, right? I don't think Dragon Ball has been significantly reinterpreted because that shit just looks anime as hell, right?
Yeah. I remember seeing some, like, there's some article on this recently. Mm-hmm. I think, like, there's, and I remember finding it, like, really fun that they were, like, they were trying to do stuff that they thought would be cool.
Yeah.
Even if Marvel was not into it.
Yeah.
And they were looking for characters that were like interesting to them.
Oh.
Can't believe that hit.
Oh.
Oh. The air grab.
And actually, a good example of that, Mapachito is kind of calling it out in chat, so shout outs to him. Marvel characters normally don't name their moves, right? Like,
right, they never would.
Cyclops has the ability to project energy from his eyes, right? He has eye beams. He might call them an optic blast, but in the comics or the movies or whatever, it's not like he says optic blast, right?
Right. Absolutely not.
And like most American-made fighting games have a tricky relationship with VO around that shit, because Americans don't name their attacks. In part because if you hear someone say, "What? Oh, come on! Give me Tornado Claw." You hear Tornado Claw once, that's pretty cool. In a fighting game, you're gonna hear Tornado Claw, Tornado Claw.
Yeah,
Tornado
you're gonna
Claw.
hear it a lot.
What the fuck is the input for Berserk? Oh, there's Berserker Barrage is only a super? Wow. Berserker Barrage. Oh my god.
Oh, he said it in a very, very Wolverine sounding voice.
Yeah.
You know, there was a video Tim Rogers did. I think it was a review of Xenoblade Chronicles. That was the game.
Yeah.
For the Switch. And he was talking about the dub. And he talked specifically about how, like, in that, people are... It's kind of like... I think it's like an action-y RPG. I don't really know. But people say the moves of what they're doing. Or, like, they have barks for like every move.
Yeah.
And he was like, you know, in Japanese that sounds cool. Like
does.
there's like a lot more like the way even like Japanese like oh my god. That was a lot of lasers.
Big laser.
Like there's a kind of like cadence and repetition that's like more natural that seems a lot more natural.
Yeah.
In the Japanese language.
And
so
some of it too, not to get too like language nerd on us real quick, but Irene and I were actually talking about this the other day.
Oh yeah.
Like in Japanese, when you give something a name, you can have it be a compound of a bunch of kanji, right? And the idea is that the kanji that you pick for that generally reflect somehow what you're saying, right? So Hadouken is wave motion fist, right? But you read those characters differently when they're in a compound, so it feels like you're actually giving the move a name and not just saying 3 words, right?
Right, yeah.
If Ryu says wave motion fist every time he throws a Hadouken, that shit is dumb as hell.
But yeah, there's like, right, exactly. It just sounds a lot different. Like, whereas I feel like American, like, especially like American, like, nerd culture self-consciousness is like so about being like, that would just like not read as cool. So,
yeah, I mean, Scorpion in his iconic move yells, "Get over here!" Right? Not
right. He's like giving a command almost.
Exactly. Sub-Zero doesn't say shit. Oh, there's a cat in the background of the stage. Come back. Ah, it went away. Yeah, the other thing that we missed commenting on real quick is that stage that we played on last, the Danger Room, is cool as hell. Because there are elements...
Oh yeah, I loved that.
There are elements of the Danger Room where it'll, like, when you jump, it'll have spikes on the floor. And they can't hit you, right? But it's just like, oh, it makes it look like you just avoided a trap. But yeah, so the move callouts in this stuff, and just the way that they elevate, like, the way that this game kind of imprinted in my mind that, like, Marvel characters have fighting styles. Marvel characters have moves, and they can say the moves' names, is a big part of what got me attached to these characters. And that's not something that they carry into, like, MCU shit at all.
Sorry.
That's right. Web ball! Web swing!
Red Bull.
Red Bull.
Yeah, it's like.
Also, shoutouts to the good old day, the halcyon days of the 90s, when the X-Men were, in fact, the primary Marvel IP. Oh my... I can't believe you just recovered and kicked me in the face on the way down.
It was like... And actually, that's the other thing that's really funny. Is like the only reason why... it's because of that weird, like, deal with Sony or whatever.
Yeah.
Like, is the only reason why Marvel comic universe is like a thing.
Yeah.
And we've never seen the X-Men. It's like, it's so funny that they're like a competition, that they're competing with themselves over their own franchise, essentially.
Well, and in that case, it wasn't even much of a competition for like most of the time, right? It was just the X-Men getting fucked. And like Iron Man,
really?
I don't like when I think of Iron Man, I think of Marvel Iron Man, right? I think of Smart Bomb, Proton Cannon, Repulsor Beam, right? Like shit that I'm never gonna hear Robert Downey Jr. say Smart Bomb.
Oh man, that would be tight though.
Right? Much less like huh, 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 huh.
Oi, we ain't done yet. Yo, you wanna learn how to do a fucking infinite? I'ma teach you, motherfucking bitch ass.
First,
jump up in the air, hit up fucking heavy kick, and then this motherfucking light punch, medium punch,
dazed, will attempt wild haymaker. Employ
light kick, heavy punch,
and body shot.
Hold diagonal whichever way you fucking going.
Now fracture.
You only hit X fucking up, motherfucking heavy kick, motherfucker.
In summary,
Ow, 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 ow! Drop that shit. Keep the rhythm up. If you fuck up the rhythm, the motherfucking combo will drop, motherfucker. Keep that motherfucking shit up. You keep the same motherfucking rhythm. If you drop this motherfucker, then it will not be motherfucking cool.
Yeah. So they gave Iceman a very particular power, and that's that he doesn't take chip damage from energy specials.
Oh, weird.
Yeah.
That's just unique to him, huh?
Yeah. Ice beam. Yeah, and the fact that Iceman sounds like a fucking herb while yelling out his attacks made me never want to pick him ever.
Yeah, he sounds like a real nerd.
Arctic attack. Ice beam.
I want to do an Arctic attack.
And it does look like Iceman got some hot girls on a yacht in the background, though. I have to assume this is his stage, and this is before he came out. So maybe he's just like really trying to pass. Iceman's like, yo, Scott, you want to come hang out on the yacht with a bunch of hot girls? Promise, it's just gonna be us and the hot girls, bro. Yo, I bet you know what the girls would like? The girls would love to watch us like get in these spandex suits and just beat the shit out of each other. All right. So again, 10 characters.
Oh shit.
Damn, that was you with the camera? That's tight. All right. So now we have the Avengers in the mix alongside some Marvel characters, right?
Oh, I love these big TVs. This is a great menu screen. Oh my god, and they jump through them?
Yeah. And now we got so if anyone knows how to use the gems in this game, I don't actually know. But like even more fan service, right? On one hand, we still have super jump. Oh. You have the time stone right now. All right, is it core circle back kicks? We'll try that. The UI is a little bit more ornate. We're now seeing like the angled life bars and meter and stuff.
Oh wow, the background looks amazing too.
Yeah, there's
like,
a lot more detail.
It's a lot more detailed, and we've got like some really almost 3D looking fake effects.
Yeah.
I can't tell. Hey, mine.
All right, so Mapacho here is describing Blackheart as one of the patron saints of Monster Fucker Awakening. Monster Fucker Awakening. Monster Fucker Awakening. And you know, I can kind of see it, but that never would have made sense to me before. And so, like, one of the things that I feel compelled to point out here is, like, we've played a couple different weird characters in this game, right? And in X-Men, actually, right? Like, when you're so you're switching to Wolverine, you just played Hulk and you just played Blackheart. Let me know how Wolverine feels by contrast.
Oh wow, he is really tiny.
At least they captured that part of his identity, right? Like, oh, neat. So Wolverine has his healing factor in this game. Check it out.
Oh, really?
Yeah, when you get hit, he gets like maybe 30% of the damage refunded.
Oh, whoa. Huh. Well, he does actually feel way better than a lot of the other characters. Right?
And like, that's the thing. Like, so when they create, characters like Juggernaut and Hulk, they make them slow and big with lots of big buttons, right? And that kind of captures the fantasy of the character, right?
Right, yeah.
But it feels like shit to play.
Yeah.
It's like, who would just play this? Like, yeah, some people will be into it, but like, if some of the satisfaction of fighting games, and we've talked about this a bunch, like if some of the satisfaction of fighting games is being able to press lots of buttons really quickly, like Juggernaut's not gonna give you that, right?
Right, yeah, it like feels satisfying to press those big buttons, but then you're like, oh my god, I feel like I can't do anything.
Yeah.
Blackheart was real weird.
Yeah, Blackheart's a super weirdo. All right, so we got some X-Men, we got some Street Fighters.
Oh yeah, we do.
I'll start out. I'll start out playing the Street Fighter
tag,
side.
Right?
What's up? Yes. So you gotta pick 2 of them.
You gotta pick 2. All right.
All right. 2 of the strongest. Yeah. Let's see. I think I can stop the. Yeah. We'll see if that pauses the alerts a little bit. Y'all came through with the follows for real. I appreciate it. So we got Rogue in here, but we also got Ryu, right? Look at what happens now. 1, the stage is awesome, but 2, look at what happens when you take Street Fighter characters. Like if X-Men was like around Darkstalker's power level, how do we get Street Fighter characters to feel as powerful as a Marvel character? Well, step 1 is you make Ryu's fireball fucking the size of his whole body. Right?
Oh my god.
Let's see. I think. All right. So yeah, you can tag like that. Dalsim actually is a little bit easier to make weird because he was already weird.
Let him just, as always, so good for him to just say yoga while punching me in the fucking face.
But his yoga flame is now the full ass screen.
Holy crap. Okay.
Oh, and there we go with the floor break. Now we're underground. There's actually some combos in this game that you can set up using the police van in the left side of the upper floor.
Oh my god.
Which is kind of cool.
Whoa. And we got the jazz coming in.
Yeah. Oh yeah, this is absolutely just reflective of that period in fighting game history where every soundtrack was jazzy for some reason. Oh
my god, that traded.
Yeah. So Rogue actually has a neat thing. I want to see it's on like core circle forward punch or something. Yeah, there you go. So you just took a move.
Oh, cool.
I think that's how it works in later games. I don't know what she takes from. Yeah, there you go.
Oh yeah, damn it is. Oh, that's fun.
Oh. Damn, I just got fucking dunked. There we go. Woo. Yeah, now Shinku Hadoken is not just like a 3 to 5 hit super, it's a full ass beam, baby.
Yeah, it's like a laser beam.
And for the as far as the deep lore goes, like I was not big on X-Men vs Street Fighter when it came out because I was not near an arcade that had it. So when I saw it, I'd play it, but I didn't know shit about how to play this game. However, one of the first times that I visited the Philippines after getting into fighting games, I realized that they had a lot more arcades and arcade cabinets out there just in malls and shit, right? Especially in Manila. Like, Manila is full of malls for shopping, but also because you need air conditioning to do a goddamn thing. It's way too fucking hot, right? And so there were just like kids, like, you know, 10, 11, 12-year-old kids hanging out in the arcades, like during, you know, fucking school days or whatever. And I would just, you know, put a coin into like X-Men versus Street Fighter or Marvel superheroes or whatever. And just some random kid would walk up and then instantly infinite me. Because these games are full of infinites. And I don't know how good they were as fighting game players, but they definitely knew how to just fuck me up and take my money. It was great. So we got Akuma up here, so the selectable secret character here. Who else is cool? We'll go with Sabretooth. And
oh, we got some great palettes.
We'll go Cammy. Terminated.
I'm loving this Sabretooth palette. Holy shit.
It's so cool. And he's got he's got like let's see if I can remember how to do it. There we go. Birdie. Yeah, boss.
Yes, boss.
Yeah, and if you want some FGC deep lore, James Chen wrote one of the more notorious game facts for this game, in which he has a section, and it's still up there, you can still find it, where he's just complaining about Sabretooth. Yeah, boss.
What's other than that? What sucks about Sabretooth?
This.
Oh shit.
He's got a really fast jab and really good air buttons.
Yeah, I noticed that. I was like, damn, I'm really getting hit a lot.
Oh. Whew. Yeah, and in this game,
it's like
you can definitely feel that Street Fighter characters are just like punching a little bit, punching up a couple weight classes. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, I do. I remember liking this because I have some familiarity with these games. Mm-hmm. Maybe more so than like the actual Street Fighters.
Yeah.
Just because. Because a lot of friends tended to have them at the time. Yeah, there's something about how, like, I guess I've never been, like, on chain combos specifically.
Yeah.
I'm a lot more comfortable, I think, with, like, games that I know better. Mm-hmm. And I'm having a really hard time, like, applying what I know from Guilty Gear and Uni to these games.
Oh, yeah.
Like, I guess I'm just not sure what I'm supposed to be doing.
So in general, when it comes to the versus games, there are the go-to combo rules are the Magic Series rules, right? So it's usually like the base one you want to think about is like you press a button, and then if you're playing with the 6-button layout, you can go down. Right, so if you go from light punch to light kick, then you can go from light kick to medium punch, so you can go back up, right, and then down again. But it's not true. It's not. Yeah. I think it's not globally true for every character. But that's the general rule. Now you don't have to do just that, but that's kind of like the maximum, right?
Mm-hmm. This is one of the things I feel about like combo heavy like chain games.
Yeah,
is that the timing is usually just like so different between the different games that at least like compared to like maybe other genres, like
get Chum back.
I can't quite just go into it. Like I could play like I've noticed that I can like just pick another Guilty Gear character and be like, okay, I get what your basic combo is after like a couple of minutes in story mode.
Sure.
But
so like you kind of can do that in this game. It's just that the speed is faster, right?
Right. Yeah.
And it's a very specific thing. Guilty Gear has more hit pause on hits than I think X-Men versus Street Fighter does, right?
Yeah.
These attacks are just faster.
I definitely noticed that like Guilty Gear is actually like pretty slow.
Yeah.
In terms of like the combo, like in some ways, in other ways, it's like.
Yeah, you have more time. Wow, that's hilarious. Was that her crouching light kick?
Yeah. Yeah, I can't even.
Oh my god.
Yeah, I can't. That does not combo.
Yeah, you could try.
Gotta be like light punch.
I wonder if you can go. That's interesting.
No.
Yeah, I feel bad for the Street Fighter characters. And this is
I
mean,
know.
Historically, like Capcom characters do have problems in these games. Like Strider is usually one of the best Capcom characters in a versus game. But you put Street Fighter characters in this shit, they get fucked up. Oh, so Storm has her air dash.
I do know about this.
Yeah.
I know that thing is good.
Yeah.
I've heard about it.
So Storm also has an air dash.
I've heard tell.
It'll be a direction in the air, and I think 3 punches should do it. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
But it's 8 ways. Her and Magneto both should have 8-way air dashes in this game. So you can go like air dash up or jump up and then do air dash down forward.
Whoa. Biga.
With Magneto, you can try doing. He's got some air combos in this game. So if you do with him, it's you can do like light kick or crouch light kick and a crouch heavy punch. That's the string you do on the ground.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
Yeah, and then when you follow it up, you just go like, you just go from top to bottom and from left to right. There you go.
Okay, close enough.
Yeah. All right. Who else we want to see?
It's interesting. I'm noticing this now, but it's been interesting to watch the change as we get closer to games that are Guilty Gear. Mm-hmm. Your skill level is like rising exponentially. Like I'm noticing like we had some like you definitely have the fundamentals, no question, but like it was like I just like noticed like how we had like some really even intense matches in like Garo Mark of the Wolves.
Sure, yeah.
And in this game it's like whoa, the difference is so crazy.
Yep. Well, and I mean some of this is just because like I didn't play that much X-Men versus Street Fighter, but I played a good amount of Marvel 2 and Marvel 3, right?
Right, yeah. So you have like some of that kind of the Marvel fundamentals.
Exactly. Like this right here, it's called a triangle jump, right? When you're doing the jump, a super jump into down forward, a down forward air dash for like very quick high-low mix-ups like that. That is a necessary technique if you're playing Marvel 2. And I learned it in Marvel 2, and then afterwards I came back to X-Men vs Street Fighter. I was like, oh shit, you can do it in this game too? That's awesome. Cool. And Storm has one as well.
Yeah, from that pure like as a fighting game fan only, my like knowledge, and I never really watched too much Marvel, just because it wasn't really my jam personally.
Yeah.
But I know, like, you know, I've watched enough of it to know a little bit about like what is, because I was curious, like what makes someone good in this game, like what's important. And it turns out air mobility.
Air mobility is huge.
And being able to run really fast overhead mix-ups.
Yep. Or even just being able to like imagine Ryu trying to catch up to that, you know?
Right, yeah, like
it fucking sucks for him. He's like, come back here so I can show you can, and you can air block it.
How do you approach a lady?
I'm just chilling, building a meter. Don't mind me.
Oh my god.
So all of a sudden, everything just a little bit brighter, a little bit happier, a little bit more upbeat. Who the fuck is Jin? Who the fuck is Captain Commando, right? Like, we're seeing characters. We got Venom in here. We're seeing characters that feel like they know a little bit more about the game that we're making, right?
Right, yeah. We've got some... They're like, what if... Let's just bring out the real weirdos for this game.
Exactly, right? It's not Marvel versus Street Fighter anymore because all the Street Fighter characters fucking sucked. So now, and you still have Chun, you have Ryu, you have Zangief, right? But like, we got a whole bunch more in here. We got Mega Man. You know how hype it was? And I just want to mash that quarter sound so you can hear it go, "Let's go crazy" over and over and over.
Let's go crazy. I mean, like, that makes a huge amount of sense, honestly, because it's like, you know, it doesn't... I remember as a kid, it was like, who the fuck are these people? These are from games that, like, never came out. We never even heard of them.
Yeah.
But, like, they make way more sense, and they're also way cooler.
Yep.
They suit, like... The Marvel characters kind of set like the high point for like what this game is about and who exists in it.
Exactly.
Oh my god!
And we have this like dedicated assist
it.
mechanic. Like, so you can press medium punch and medium kick. Basically, you get a pseudo random. You can actually pick it, but there are dedicated assist characters in this game. Like, we've got Arthur from Ghouls and Ghosts versus I forget what that dude is that you got.
Yeah.
Right. But it's just it's a showcase of Capcom characters and Marvel characters, right? Look at how cool Venom looks in this game.
Yeah,
and they made him for this game. Like, I don't think he was in any others.
Yeah, I don't think he was either.
That's
and
right.
you can kind of tell almost because of how good he looks.
Yeah. And like, when you think of like what an anti-air should be in this game, right? It's not a Shoryuken. Shoryuken, you don't expect Shoryuken to do shit up here. Captain Sword? Captain Corridor? Hell yeah.
Yeah, for real. With the height of the game this much, it's so interesting to watch like how Guilty Gear has like 6P as like an anti-air button, which is unimaginable.
Yeah.
At this point. You almost have to you almost have to appreciate how much Guilty Gear actually kind of turns things down a little bit.
Mm-hmm. That will be even more appreciable once we get into Marvel vs. Capcom 2.
God.
I think that's what we'll play next week.
Yeah, I guess we'll have to devote some real time to that. Now, we're actually venturing into games that I have played before. Like, I did play this game in high school, and I did play Marvel vs. Capcom 2.
Right.
But like, we played it on a friend's Dreamcast.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah. I mean, that's to be honest, that's the best way to play this game. So, you know. So, Toeman John in chat, excellent name by the way, offers this fun tidbit. The reason that there's War Machine and not Iron Man is that Marvel sold the video game rights for Iron Man to someone else, so they just recolored the Iron Man sprite to make it War Machine.
Oh, really? Okay, that's really funny.
They changed some of his attacks a little bit too. Like, Smart Bomb now has like spikes on it or some shit.
Oh my god.
So that's for 3 meters. You press core circle back, heavy punch, and heavy kick. And you can summon your homie out and control them both at the same time. They both respond to your inputs, and you have unlimited super meter for the duration of that moment.
Holy crap.
Yeah.
Sounds a little busted.
It's busted for all kinds of reasons, but the best worst reason is, so one of the dumbest shit in this game is it has some secret characters that you have to pick by doing like special commands at the character select screen. And one of them is Gold War Machine, and Gold War Machine's shit is that he can't block, but he has hyper armor, so you can't actually stop him from doing anything.
Whoa.
And what you do is you pick Gold War Machine and regular War Machine. They have a super called War Destroyer. They both have the super where War Machine stands in place. He puts on this backpack and just fires rockets that go all the way up and then come down, right? If you get 2 War Machines spamming the screen with that shit, it slows the game down to a crawl, and you take a shit ton of chip damage, and there's basically nothing you can do about it.
Damn.
Yeah.
Truly busted.
Yeah, versus game's degenerate as hell. Like, part of the reason that Marvel 2 survived as long as it did is likely just because it's one of the first Marvel games to have, like, a viable meta at all.
Yeah, because it's like, from what I understand, from people having conversations with me about Marvel vs. Capcom 2, it's almost that there's so much broken stuff that and so many characters, that a viable, like, tier, like, top tier, kind of just evolved due to a series of bugs and weird coincidences.
So for Marvel 2 specifically, the thing that defines the top tier is often air mobility. Like, most of the characters are kind of like Captain Commando, where they can super jump and they can run around, and that's about it, right? You saw Magneto and Storm in X-Men vs. Street Fighter. Those fuckers have 8-way air dashes. Those fuckers have, like, Sentinel has flight. Actually, Magneto and Storm both have flight as well. Like, those three have more air mobility and damage potential from that air mobility than just about anyone in the game. And so they end up being the folks who really define the meta. And, like, those three plus Cable are basically it for your top tiers.
Right,
and you can pair assists, and that's how people get a little bit more creative. But, like, really the fascinating thing about Marvel 2, and you'll see some of this, because I'll show you to the best of my ability what top tier bullshit in that game looks like. The thing that's fascinating about Marvel 2 is even with a very defined top tier, the game is really has a rich meta just inside that top tier. Who are you liking in this one so far?
It's kind of hard to tell.
Yeah.
To be honest. Venom's pretty cool. Like, it's harder to, like, it's actually, like, way harder to understand, like, what's good and what's happening.
Yeah.
I feel like I had this problem when I was a kid, too. Like, and it hasn't kind of gotten that much better. But
it's Marvel, baby.
Because it's like, yeah, but it does feel like, obviously, like, air movement is, like, so crucial. And, like, you feel it every time you do one of these super, super high and completely, like, with zero horizontal potential jumps. Like, it's like, I wish more than anything I could move forward, right? So,
yeah. Like, there's this whole chunk of the screen that we don't get to use, right?
Right.
Because of that, right? There's, like, when I super jump, I go all the way up here, but the area that's kind of in between, we don't really get to navigate that effectively, or at least I don't, right? War Machine actually has an air dash and flight in this game.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, there you go.
Oh, yeah. Having it be like, oh, you gotta do 3 punches for that is a little weird.
Oh, yeah. And it's not, like, if you fuck it up, because it's punch, punch, punch input, if you fuck it up, like, you're getting an attack, right?
Yeah. Not exactly great.
No, not at all. It's interesting that they gave Venom this, like, web swing for mobility on a double tap.
Wait, really?
Yeah, check it. Like, if you double tap forward in the air.
Oh, weird. Okay. God, it's so weird that they're like, okay, some people have an air dash in the air, and other people do it with 3 punches.
Yeah. Oh. Do that one again. Just hit me with it. It looks so fucking cool.
Yeah, he's got really good animation.
Yeah.
And I love that, again, he's doing stuff that, like, maybe it's because it's Venom specifically, he's, like, the one Marvel character who might be allowed to do it, but, like, they're, like, just, like, letting him warp his body, like, the way that a Darkstalker's character would.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Because
like,
it fits the character, right? He's very close to, like, an Eddie, right?
Yeah.
Which, you know, Eddie Brock and Eddie the Demon.
Oh, you know, I didn't think about it until just
Hey.
that moment. I was liking Jin.
Yeah, Jin's cool. And Jin is also cool too, because like you were saying, right? I don't think it's an accident that you picked up Jin. You're like, oh, he seems cool. I'll keep on playing him, right? Same with Venom. Part of it is because look at how cool his punch is.
Yeah, he's got like these big animations. This wild like bandana on his back, like.
Yep.
His expressions in all of his portraits are like really intense.
Yep.
Um,
and they kind of kept him in Marvel too, as well as like if you just want to jump around and press buttons, like we can give you that, right? You don't need to do a whole lot of complicated shit to do stuff that looks cool. And it's funny, it's weird to think about it, but it's really in this game where it feels like Capcom starts to figure out how to like celebrate their characters a little bit more, you know?
Yeah.
They just spent the last couple years just churning out all these different arcade games, all these different characters, all these different systems, and they didn't really have time to like celebrate them that much, right? Mega Man in this game, he gets different items that change his abilities. That's so cool. Strider gets Ouroboros. That shit is kind of broken as hell, but that's the point. You don't want to see Strider in a fucking Street Fighter game because they'll look boring as shit. Anyway, let's play one more and then we'll wrap it up.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it is really cool that they're like... yeah, let's make the characters have a lot of personality. Let's use their charisma. Like, at a time, now everyone does this shit, you know?
Mm-hmm.
We're using fucking Fortnite gaming. But like, at the time it was pretty, like, it was a pretty new thing.
Yeah.
And it must have felt pretty nice to be like, hey, these characters are like recognizable enough that they can like hold their own game.
I mean, and even with the Street Fighter characters, right? Like, think about what a big deal Street Fighter was in the early 90s.
Yeah.
Know? Like,
oh, yeah.
The fact that they were in this game with Marvel characters is not, it's not like a downgrade, you know?
Right, yeah, no. Street Fighter was just a huge phenomenon at the time. And like, oh my gosh. Oh, I can teleport, I guess. Oh my god. There's
the homie Juggernaut coming in real quick. Yeah, do a core circle forward and 2 punches with Strider. You basically get to do whatever you want now.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, those things have hitboxes.
Then I'll do that.
The orbs have hitboxes, and every time you press an attack button, they'll shoot out the discs too.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was the famous thing about this character.
Yeah.
That's why this character is like known more for these appearances, right? Oh
yeah.
my god. Oh, don't hurt me. Ow. Oh shit.
I could not tell what was happening there either. Don't worry about it.
I literally no idea.
Why must I fight you? We are not enemies. That's right. All right. Well, we'll call it there for Marvel vs. Capcom. I guess so. That is, you know, now an hour and a half later, 2 hours later, like we've gotten to see a little bit of where Capcom's initial kind of foray into non-traditional fighting game stuff turned into licensed work, right? With the Marvel characters. And this was super wild for me because like my interaction with the Marvel IP as a kid was the trading cards and the X-Men animated series. That was pretty much it. It wasn't until the fighting games came out that I really started to get attached to these characters in specific ways. But because I got attached to them as fighting game characters, when the movies came out, I'm like, Cyclops isn't saying Optic Blast. Wolverine's never going to say Berserker Barrage, right? And it didn't register in my head at the time, but it wasn't until Marvel 3 came out when, and you know what it was? It was when Marvel 3 came out. And you know who was the most exciting character that was released in Marvel 3, the original vanilla Marvel 3? It was Sentinel. Sentinel
Mm-hmm.
is one of those characters that no one gives a fuck about unless you played Marvel 2. And in Marvel 2, because he's top tier and because he's a lot of fun and because his animations have all this charisma and the players really imbued the character of Sentinel as a fan favorite, right? That them putting Sentinel in Marvel 3 was like this message that someone who was working on this game fucking got it, right? And I've talked to Seth a little bit about what the licensing conversations were like. I can't imagine that it was easy to get Sentinel, mostly because I'm sure Marvel was just like, wait, what the fuck? Really? You want him? You don't want, like, we got Dark Phoenix. Go give Dark Phoenix a shot. Dark Phoenix is cool, right? Rocket Raccoon. We're trying to do this thing with Guardians of the Galaxy. It'll be super dope. I just imagine the Capcom dev team being like they're huddling, they're whispering each other. Now, we need Sentinel or this game is going to do shit, man. Like, I don't know what to tell you.
Yeah, there's like it's cool to see like fighting games so charismatic and so good at conveying character that characters that were nobodies before they were put in a fighting game become iconic because of that appearance. Like that's a really, really fascinating thing to see.
And it's
like
And it's interesting to me because you called it charisma, right? Which is, I think, is absolutely accurate. Like there's no better way to talk about Sentinel's mysterious appeal than to describe him as a charismatic character. But he doesn't say anything, right? He has quirkiness in his animations and personality in his animations that are kind of, it's definitely unusual for what we think of when we think of Sentinel. And we see that, we're like, oh, that's a really cool thing. But some of it, I am convinced that some of it is the relationship that you form with the character by pressing buttons to make them do stuff, right? Because if I just watched Sentinel do that stuff in a movie, even if the movie was an hour and a half long and it was about Sentinel, like let's say Sentinel got his own movie, I would probably not give a fuck, right? But when it's me doing the moves, even if in an old ass video game, I start to get attached. Right? If I start to think of myself as a Sentinel player, if Sentinel becomes one of the characters that represents me, right? Like fighting game characters are like stands, you know? When we're playing against each other, we pick these characters as representations of our will. And being able to say, you know what? My favorite character in the Marvel Cinematic Universe is Sentinel because that motherfucker can float and stomp on you with his fucking big ass boots, right? He's got the fucking Timbs on. He's got the fucking frying pan. Like that is something that no, you wouldn't see in a movie. You wouldn't see in a comic book. You wouldn't see in cartoons or anime or whatever. But because I can think of myself as a Sentinel player or Magneto player or whatever, right? I have this attachment to them that extends far beyond the kind of the more one-way relationship, or at least the non-reciprocal relationship of a comic book or a passive entertainment essentially.
Right, like there's something precipitatory like that you participate in it, like I know that you brought this up at some point, but it's like, like you're talking about, like you picking this character and you're like, this is a representation of me. Like it becomes like this personality marker, like a Myers-Briggs or an astrology or something like that. I am a character. I'm somebody who plays this sort of character, and you can tell things about me and my personality because of that choice. Yeah. And I'm obviously proud of that because I'm picking someone who I think is cool. Yeah. And who does stuff that I think is interesting. Even like regardless of like what that character's personality is supposed to be, it's like how you express yourself or how their play style allows you to express yourself.
Exactly. And so this is where we we tie things up neatly and circle right back to what we were talking about at the beginning of the stream when we were talking about Guilty Gear, and you're talking about how you're giving Jacko a shot, right? As you dig through these Guilty Gear characters, you are going to be, it's like you're trying on different skins, right? When I choose Kai, what does that say about me? What energy am I projecting out into the friends that I'm playing with or the strangers that I'm playing with when I'm playing this character. And it's not just the character and what he says and what he does and what his motivations are. It's also how does he occupy space in the game, and how is that space different, or how does that space position him relative to other characters in the game. So then you tried Elfelt.
Right.
Well, you tried Elfelt before, right? You tried Eno before that. You tried Jacko. You're going to try Biken, right?
Mm-hmm.
I think that you will find the right version of you in Guilty Gear when you try out the characters and you realize that whatever they're doing, whether it's the buttons, whether it's, you know, the strategic role, whether it's the kind of experience they're creating for the other person, right? When you find the one that feels like it'll be different things for different people, right? Maybe it feels like it's a truer expression of you, or maybe you feel like it's an aspirational expression of you, right? In the same way that, like, even before I ever played Chip Zanoff in Guilty Gear, I always wanted to be a ninja, right? You will find something like that in Guilty Gear, perhaps in something else, but I think you'll probably find something like it in Guilty Gear. And I think that is when you'll know you found it, right? Because you've been playing a bunch of different games. I know you have attachment to a bunch of different games and a bunch of different characters, right? But I don't think you found the thing yet. The character that feels like a deeper expression of self. But I think we'll find it. And that has been kind of one of the things that's been running in the back of my head as we continue the series of streams. And for anyone who's new to the stream, first of all, welcome. Second of all, come through every Thursday because Aevee and I get to dig through a whole bunch of old fighting games and just celebrate them and talk about what makes them so cool, right? But I have running in my head, you know, we're getting closer to understanding the roots of Guilty Gear. But it's not just about understanding the roots of Guilty Gear. It's also understanding the roots of, like, why it's so effective at doing what it's doing, right? And then also in the background of that is, like, what I think they're leaving behind in moving to Strive, right? And in helping to understand, like, the cost that they're paying when they go from, you know, such elaborate character design and elaborate combat design to something slightly less so. So I look forward to looking into that. And I definitely want to know how your continued exploration in Guilty Gear goes.
Yeah. I'll give you some updates. I've been thinking that one of these days, like, I'm really enjoying going through old fighting games. I'd kind of like to play Xrd with you a little bit.
Yeah.
Just, like, probably not the same way we play this, because you will just demolish me. But I do want to, like, I want to see a little bit more about Guilty Gear through your eyes.
Sure.
I want you to teach me.
Okay.
Sensei.
It's been a while, but I'd be happy to. All right.
Yeah.
So next week, I feel like Marvel 2 is a good place to continue to at least, like, bookend this series of exploration we're doing. Next week, let's spend the whole stream on Marvel 2, because there's a lot of stuff in that game, and it's assuming we can get it working real good. The Fightcade version, not so much, but we might be able to do it on Null DC Bear. Which I think we got working for CVS, so that should be fine. Next week, we'll be back with more shit. So as y'all know, we do we mostly stream Guilty Gear here. We got Wednesday Night Fights, Guilty Gear, Rev 2 for the NorCal scene up here on Wednesday. And we'll be back next week with more fighting game action. Until then, y'all know what it is. Love your life, be good to one another, play some other fucking fighting games, y'all. We out. Mwah.
Good night, everyone.
この番組はご覧のスポンサーの提供でお送りします。